Well, let's get to our first topic of our discussion. Now, the chairman and chief executive officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, has commended the new payout policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria as a boost to diaspora remittances, describing it as a further encouragement for diaspora remittances by the new administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The chief executive officer of NIDCOM says the approved Naira payouts will equally motivate Nigerians in the diaspora to send more money back home for developmental projects as against consumables. The NIDCOM boss added that with the new CBN policy, this will make people get open market rates instead of just official rates when they send money back through the bank from abroad. Well, let's talk more about this and other developments around NIDCOM. And I'm being joined by no other person by the chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. She's also a former member of the Nigerian Federal House of Representatives, representing the Kudurudu constituency in Lagos State, and chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity at that time. It's good to have you on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you again.
Yes. Yes. Before we go to the dollar thing, which I know is the big one, tell us about what's been happening with NIDCOM. There's been a lot of issues, of course, globally and all of that. How far have we gone? How are we coming through some of these challenges? At least we should be, of course, getting better by the day.
Yeah, I think we are. Diaspora issues are now on the front burner everywhere. And like we've been saying, we cannot ignore our diaspora. But I'm so excited that the diaspora are beginning to invest more in their country. The diaspora are beginning to say, you know what, we have to do this together. The president was in Paris, France, where we met Nigerians living in France, and the excitement was palpable. And they're also excited that everybody that wants to do business with Nigeria, with the policies of the new administration and the various moves that has been taken by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So for the diaspora, well, the engagement continues and they are willing and ever ready to do much more. So I keep saying it's a symbiotic relationship. Nigeria needs you and you need Nigeria. So, and more countries, I mean, the Korean ambassador was here a few days ago. Korea now has done agency for the diaspora. Other countries are doing the same thing. And we set the pace, so we have some other countries now having the agencies for diaspora. I think that is very exciting. And we continue to engage the diaspora all over the world.
Well, a good way to start. Now, this new move, many say, is really the step in the right direction, that it will help motivate Nigerians abroad to send in more funds into the country. Talk to us about how this came to you when Central Bank came up with that release following President Tinubu's directive.
It's a very, very good development. We've been having that conversation with the Central Bank for almost 4 years. And having this conversation that, one of the major challenges with remittances, apart from high taxes, is the fact that you put in your money and then you're going to get at a lower rate. This encourages unofficial channels of remittances. So with the new policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, more Nigerians will be now encouraged to remit their monies through official channels of remittances. So that is what we've been asking for, and this has happened. And another thing is the unification of the foreign exchange rate has actually, it's like, oh, is it that easy to do that? But it's been done. So those two things have actually encouraged Nigerians in the diaspora. So that will encourage more formal channels of remittances. It will also encourage more investments, because we're saying that, okay, remittance is $26 billion, which is a lot of money, but 85% of our budget, about quite a percentage of our GDP. It's also about the budget of some states put together. So that's huge money. It's going into the economy. It's for, oh, give this to my mother. I want to pay the Medicare of my sister. I want to pay the education of my relative and all that. But we are saying that you can also have intentional diaspora investment. Now, we have the Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, which has been approved by the federal government of Nigeria. So we're going to take the next step now of encouraging the diaspora to put resources together and have an investment fund that, most importantly, they will be the ones to run it. They will be the ones to decide what they want to do. Imagine 1,000 diasporas putting together $1,000. That's already $1 billion. So that's the next step now. With these policies by the federal government of Nigeria under Mr. President, it will encourage them to now, do more of these things. And we've been saying that your diaspora should be your first level of engagement for investment. So we talk about foreign direct investment. We should be talking about diaspora direct investment. So we're talking with the Indian High Commission some time ago, and the thing is that many years ago, India was at the level where they were having just conversations, and they've taken it to a higher level by having an overseas Ministry of Indian Affairs, and now we have a diaspora commission. So we hope that as we continue to engage, we continue to achieve more results.
A beautiful one. I'm looking at what it used to be before now, where the digital companies, the IMTOs, and all of that. How challenging was it? And did that affect our figures, talking about what we've gotten from the diaspora remittances? How did it affect it, and how did that affect the IMTOs and operators in the system?
All I know is that we can do much better than we're doing now if we remove these challenges. And two challenges have been removed. Unification of the foreign exchange rate, and then being able to get your money. If you send in $1,000, you'll get the same rate you're going to get it if you go to the parallel market. So why don't you just send it directly? And we're also saying is that Nigeria has the highest in terms of taxation of remittances. So if you send in $1,000, a certain amount is going to on taxes and levies. And we've been asking what happens to these taxes and levies. How come that of Nigeria is the highest? So that is still something to look at. How come ours is the highest? So I think these are some of the issues, but I'm glad they have been tackled. So what we're saying is that if we pull all the plugs, Nigeria can double what they do now in terms of remittances. And then beyond remittances, we should have a structured means of diaspora investment. Brazil, Kenya, there was a country that just got diaspora funds together and decided to build one of the biggest bridges in their country. So we can do the same thing in Nigeria. What's the area of interest? They can just choose an area and decide that we're coming together and investing here. And I see that happening very soon, because we'll be having a lot of conversations with a whole lot of them. And what NIDCOM has been able to do over the last 4 years has been intentional engagements with them. So we're actually one-on-one now getting those diaspora that we keep saying, oh, you're developing world economies. Now we have contacts with them. We have communication with them. There were times in the past when they don't even want to talk to, go to missions and all that. But now, with the engagement we've been having with them, they are now even coming to the table themselves. And by the way, Diaspora Day is next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. July 25 every year is the annual Diaspora Day. So we are taking it a notch higher. So this year, we're going to have the first Diaspora Merit Awards. So the Diaspora Day is July 25. We're going to have a lot of conversation around politics, health, education, ICT, the economy, and all that. And I tell you, it's going to be a very interesting conversation. And beyond that, we're now taking it back to government as to how to implement whatever we come out with. And we've been doing that. And then we're going to have the first Diaspora Merit Award the next day, which is July 26th. So I hope you'll be there.
Yeah, hopefully I should be. You beat me to it, because I was going to talk about the theme of the event, which is consolidating diaspora engagement for national development. I'm thinking, why that theme at this time?
Because that's the just right thing to do now. How do we consolidate diaspora engagements to build our country? Like I said, we've been having this conversation, so we're coming to the table to ask them, how do we do this together? We have to work together, Nigerians at home and Nigerians in the diaspora. And look at other countries. Every country now is taking their diaspora engagement serious. Kenya is also now setting up a diaspora agency like we have. Other countries are doing the same thing in Africa. We've had 4 countries come to us to understudy how NIDCOM has been engaging its diaspora. And then one of the things is having the president talk to them when it's possible, when it travels. And I'm so glad that on President Tinubu's very first engagement to Paris, we met with the diaspora. And we heard what they said. Even from France in November, a team is coming with investors. As I speak with you now, we have a team from Houston. And some Nigerians are part of the delegation. The mayor of Houston decided to get on board, come to Africa. So he told us yesterday he's coming home to see how they can invest in Africa. How can they partner? Area of education, POTS, is here with the largest delegation from the largest port in Houston is here to talk about direct flights from Houston to Lagos, because it's very important for trade. It's here to also say maybe they should have another consulate in Houston, because that's where we have the largest number of Nigerians in America, so that trade and all that can be fostered. In November, we will be expecting a large team also from California. So we want to come and see what we can do. So that is the spirit. That is the message. And guess what? These engagements are made possible for the diaspora in those countries who are working with them and to work with their country to say, listen, you've got to do something in Nigeria. So I'm glad that is happening. So it's about consolidating now. Okay, in the last few years, I can tell you that we've had almost 10 hospitals. And I'll be said about doctors in the diaspora who have come home to say, against all odds, we are coming home. One of the best cancer centers now in Nigeria, the Marcel Ruth. Dutchess Hospital is a diaspora hospital. So they are beginning to also deal with the issue of medical tourism. You may not see it immediately, but it's beginning to happen. So a big kudos to our diaspora doctors. And then we want to have a health policy around the diaspora doctors. It's another conversation we're having with the leadership at the Ministry of Health. So really, if that's consolidating. We can't be the best in the world and not consolidate back home. So why are we the best doctors, the best teachers, the best engineers? How do we translate back to our home country? Because home is where you really want to return to, no matter what. So yeah, we will be consolidating, and I'm happy about the progress we've made so far.
Beautiful stuff. Now, before I let you go, let's talk about revenue generation through tourism and culture. I read that few weeks ago, you commended the Igbo First 2023 for promoting Nigerian culture in the United States. So you say, I'm following you seriously. So what more do you think? How well can we take advantage of culture and tourism to, of course, raise more revenue? It's a space that, as many say, yet to be tapped in this country.
Absolutely. It goes two ways. You have Nigerians promoting Nigerian culture abroad. And by doing that, you're encouraging people to come back home and see what, look at, like I told you, the delegation from Houston coming for the first time. They've come to see for themselves. They saw our culture. They were like, wow, we didn't know you were this good. So one is we have Nigerians who are taking our culture abroad, like the Igbo Fest Festival, which was a beautiful ceremony. In fact, due to that, Houston, and again, it's happening in Houston, actually declared, they made a proclamation in the parliament for that day for Nigerians. Davido was also in Houston, incidentally, and they declared the Davido Day because it's sold out totally. So our music, our culture is going all over the world. Now, it's also important to get them to come to our country and say who we are, what we are. And we keep saying, when they come, they say, this is who we are. And they want to come back again and again and again. So number one is we are the number one advocates of our country. The diaspora are the number one ambassadors. What are you saying about your country? How are you marketing your country? That is one. Number two, you market it so beautifully that they also say, listen, there's so much to do in the continent, the biggest in Africa. How can we do business with them? Again, that is beginning to happen. So those are the two ways that we are glad that is happening. So the Igbo First Cultural is one of the most beautiful in America and even in other parts of the world. Others are doing the same thing. We have those we call our cultural ambassadors. There are some in the UK. You can see even during the coronation, the role that Nigerian culture played in the whole of that. So again, consolidation, believing in ourselves, having faith in ourselves, being patriotic, and seeing how we can see the beauty in us and celebrating it. A lot of time we don't even appreciate ourselves the way they appreciate us. And then before I run out, there's a program called the Door of Return, which we did in Badagry a few years ago. We stopped because of COVID. We bring them to their ancestral homes in Badagry, our ancestral land. And then they walk through that path where their ancestors were taking our slaves. It's a very emotional journey. And if we build that, it will be the number one cultural tourism thing in Nigeria. Then they return as kings and queens, and then they are hosted in a very natural manner by the community. It's a very emotional event. They all return crying. It's a very emotional event. And I think when you should take that walk, it's a walk every human being needs to take. So a lot of things we can do culturally. We are blessed. North, east, west, south, we are blessed. The thing is to be united, to put our country first, and to celebrate the best of who we are as Nigerians.
Finally, as the #1 person for Nigerians in diaspora, obviously, the chairman CEO, what is your message to Nigerians everywhere, all around the world? What is your message at this time?
Well, a message of renewed hope, a message of let's take our country to where it truly belongs. It's not just government. It's not just President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that will do it. We all have to work with him. We all have to join hands to build our country. We need to be united. We need to keep aside the hate and bitterness and unnecessary bickerings and fightings. People appreciate us as a people. You know, we can't be appreciated, if we are not the way we are. There's unity in our diversity. Even yesterday at the reception we had for the delegation, this thing was really, really beautiful. There's so much that I keep saying, look, we are blessed. We have everything, the weather, the people, the natural resources. And we should stop talking about potential. We should harness these potentials. And we all can do it together, the people, the government. And Nigerians in the diaspora are beginning to do it. We need to encourage them. We need to work with them. And we need to, like I said, be intentional about engaging them. Other countries have done it. India, Ireland, Pakistan, Israel. We should not be left behind too. And by the time we do all that, I tell you, ain't no stopping us now. Nobody can stop Nigeria.
Indeed, that's a good way to leave it. Ain't no one stopping us. I've been speaking to Honorable Abike Dabiri there. She is the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Thank you so much for your time. We know you have a lot to do at this time, but we'll definitely keep a tab and follow up even ahead of the Diaspora Day and see how TVC will definitely play a role around that space. Thank you so much again, and do enjoy your day.
Thank you.